we need to get rid of it and privatize it to create a better system.
Lots of money.
Failing.
Inefficiency.
Old people.
Old people. Money.
My social security number.
I feel sorry for anybody who has to try to survive, pay taxes, pay living expenses, and so forth on Social Security alone.
I don't know.
Annoyance.
Old people.
Whether you know about it or not, like it or not, Social Security is the premier program of the United States and will be the biggest policy issue facing Congress in 2014. Signed in 1935 by Franklin Roosevelt, it was originally intended as a baseline insurance policy to help stimulate the economy. Throughout the 20th century, the bill has been heavily reformed and amended, reaching out to more and more people. Today, Social Security gives over 55 million benefits every month, costing over $671 billion per year. With more people living longer and less people working, Social Security faces a crisis, an impending deficit that must be addressed immediately to ensure future retirement security for all generations.
There are two main issues. The first, and probably most important to beneficiaries, is that statutorily the system will basically be forced to stop paying 25% of their benefits sometime in the 2030s when the Social Security Trust Fund runs out of bonds to redeem from the federal budget. And then there are two smaller, one other problem that's maybe not smaller is that as the trust fund bonds are redeemed, you're going to be asking the rest of the budget to cover that shortfall, and so it's going to increase the deficit over the next 30 years. And the gap by that 2030 time period will get to about 1.5% of GDP, and so that's a pretty large gap from just one program that the rest of the budget will have to make up for.
Actually, going to start running out of money a couple of years from now because the amount of taxes coming in to pay for Social Security will not be sufficient to cover the benefits. So after about 2017, the system will have to draw on the IOUs, which is tax money that Congress had already spent.
Today, 55 million Americans receive benefits averaging over $1,000 per month. By 2035, over 90 million will receive benefits. Benefits are more generous, but the number of beneficiaries will rise much more rapidly than the number of workers now struggling in today's economy who will need to support them. The reality is there are simply not enough young workers to support the baby boomers who are retiring at the rate of 10,000 a day.
Well, the simple answer is you either need to cut benefits or raise taxes or a combination of the two things.
The senior citizens nervous when the government starts saying they're going to take away from Social Security and this and that and the other thing, and to pay off the debt that they made, right?
Social Security is a big part of all of our.
Okay.
How important is it to me? Well, actually, right now it's very important. It's my only income. I have no other income.
76% of the American people do not want to cut Social Security benefits.
A vast majority of retirees depend on Social Security for a majority of their retirement income. Cutting benefits means you are taking money from seniors, basically promised benefits from seniors who already don't get a huge pension income.
Prices and everything keeps going up. I mean, your electric, your utilities, and everything increases in price. So it's kind of hard to manage on 3 years ago salary.
People are hurting, and we cannot make devastating cuts on the social safety net, which is life and literally life and death for so many of our people.
Some projections are indicating about a 25% tax increase might be needed. So that's a pretty hefty tax increase. The question for people of your generation to ask is, do you want to make that payment? Do you want to make that kind of payment?
Of course, economic costs to raising wage taxes, payroll taxes, to pay for promised benefits, and that's a cost imposed on the young to transfer money to retirees.
I mean, I think anybody, when they get their paycheck and they notice a decent chunk of money missing, I think the average paycheck is supposed to you're basically supposed to see about $130 a month less on your paycheck than for an average American salary. So that's certainly not insignificant, but it's also not a kind of deal-breaking change.
Real problem for budget people like me with that plan was that any money you divert from the payroll tax into an individual account is money not available to pay current people getting Social Security benefits. And already we have a deficit in the sense that the people paying payroll taxes are not paying enough payroll taxes to support current beneficiaries.
Well, I'm really not sure what the best way is. I guess I'm leaning to some extent in a privatization direction, which is the way most private sector pensions are set up. That's the way the federal government's own retirement system is set up.
There is no perfect solution, but Congress needs to take action now.
We can never insure 100% of the population against 100% of the hazards and vicissitudes of life, but we have tried to frame a law which will give some measure of protection to the average citizen and to his family against the loss of a job and against poverty-stricken old age.